Ryan Anderson is coming off a near-perfect event in Glendale last weekend, earning 41 out of 42 points. Can he keep that momentum going tonight? Or will the king of the Great Clip Skills Challenge make it back to the top of the mountain? It was here in Anaheim 2 weeks ago that Neil Elliott won his first overall event championship of the season. Will he go 2 for 2 at Angel Stadium? The stars are out here in Orange County as Morgan Kane, Heavy D, and Diesel Dave are also in the house as the clash for the Green Series overall event championship begins now. Welcome to Anaheim, California and Angel Stadium. Tonight we join Stadium Championship Series Green as 14 contenders vie for the event championship. Hello, I'm Scott Jordan with Zombies Bari Musauer, and with us on the ground is Casey Gagliardi. Ryan Anderson, of course, one of the heirs of the Grave Digger Dynasties, coming off an almost perfect event as he and Neil Elliott have traded off overall event wins the last 2 weeks. Does either have an edge tonight? Oh, they're not the only ones to watch out for as we take a look at tonight's driver lineup. The stars are aligned, as we mentioned earlier, Bari, as we're close to Hollywood. So looking at this lineup for Stadium Championship Series Green, who do you favor here tonight in Anaheim?
Man, I got to keep my eye on Ryan Anderson and Neil Elliott with Max D. It's just important that they stay in the points chase, so it's going to be tight tonight.
Let's take a look at how tonight's event will go down. Bari, as you know, our drivers will battle it out in 3 competitions today: Monster Energy Racing, the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and BKT Freestyle. The winner of each competition is awarded a total of 14 points, with a total of 42 points on the line. The top point winner of today's event competition is awarded the overall event championship. Now, as the green flag is about to drop on Monster Energy Racing, what are the highlights of the series green track that will come into play right here tonight?
Well, Scott, the track features 2 different figure-8 racing paths. Drivers start together, and then they hit the ramp and then veer off on their own course, circling perpendicular to the multi-ramp pods. These turns can become a tremendous obstacle as each end of the stadium's dirt might be different. You might be really tacky on one end and then get to the other end and be really slick. So drivers really have to be on their game so they can get a fast time each time they're on the track so they can have lane choice.
Let's take a look at the racing bracket, Monster Energy Racing Round 1. When you talk about Stadium Championship Series Green, nobody else has won racing in this series other than Morgan Kane and Ryan Anderson. Ryan leads all competitors with 3 racing wins. Morgan Kane has 2, so going to be tough to get out of their way as we kick off with Scarlet Bandit and Kraken. I love Nick Pagliarulo this year, the young 2019 co-rookie of the year.
Absolutely, man. He's got such a bright future, too. You talk about veteran. Don Cretan has been around the sport for a long time, so it's like a veteran going against a newcomer. Let's see who comes out on top.
Yeah, Don Cretan, no easy task here in round 1 for Nick Pagliarulo. She's been around for a long time, and she's making it tough on the co-rookie of the year, but he's going to cross the finish line a little sideways. Doesn't matter, as in the end, it is Nick Pagliarulo advancing to round 2 of Monster Energy Racing.
Man, that was a crazy finish he got off the finish line, but he's into round 2. Let's see if Kevin Crocker can get the best of Morgan Kane here.
Morgan Kane, the 2016 Monster Jam World Finals racing champion, won 2 racing events already this year, and he has taken that turn nice and tight. Kevin Crocker drifts out in El Toro Loco. This is why Morgan Kane is so good. Not a lot of drivers as skilled in the turns as Morgan Kane.
This is a driver's track completely. You have to be in control. You're turning right, you're turning left. It's a really great racing track.
So Morgan Kane will advance to round 2 of Monster Energy Racing lightning fast time. And now we move on to our third matchup. We got Diesel Dave in the house in Brocamino against Matt Pagliarulo and Jester. Diesel Dave, not a lot of seat time, but he's showing that right there. Just missing the turn. Not a good start for Brocamino.
Yeah, Diesel Dave just kind of overdrove that first jump, which caused him to not set up properly for that first turn. So it was just a learning process. He'll get it with seat time. He's brand new to the seat, so it's all good, though.
Now, Diesel Dave does come back a little bit, but in the end, it's Matt Pagliarulo advancing, and this track is tougher than most because of the turns, the figure 8 style. So when the race is won and lost in the turns, man, you have to put it together from the start. We have Candice Jolly, Roy Pridgeon, Extermigator, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Candice Jolly filling in here for Cynthia Gauthier, and we're going to find out what she's got now in round one. Roy Pridgeon, a great veteran in Monster Jam.
Yes, indeed. It looks like a really close race so far. I think Candice Jolly might have a slight edge. Yeah, Roy kind of messed up on the entry of that final turn, which caused him to go really wide.
Candice Jolly making it look easy. She is going to advance to round two in Monster Energy Racing, defeating Roy Pridgeon and Extermigator. And now we continue through our Monster Jam Racing bracket. Corey Rummel, Kristen Hope. Corey Rummel's a guy we've talked about a lot. He continues to get faster every year. He's known for his extreme air, his freestyle, but when it comes to racing, he is no easy out.
Not at all, and it's really fun to watch Corey progress, really harness that power and control this beast of a Monster Jam truck called Megalodon around this track, and he's making it look easy. I mean, he's drifting that thing. He's on his way to an easy win across that finish line.
And he gets across way, way earlier than Kristen Hope does, but a great race either way. Kristen Hope, one of the young stars in Monster Jam, but Corey Rummel will advance, and now we get to Jimmy Cretin, a guy you know very well in a racing bracket up against Heavy D.
Yeah, all too well. That's the race in World Finals I wish I could have back. But right now, it's all good. We're in Anaheim. This is a driver's track, so we're really going to see who has the edge here in this matchup.
Jimmy Cretin, two-time Monster Jam World Finals champion, won racing in 2019 against Heavy D and Brodozer, the 2019 co-rookie of the year. And look at the turn from Heavy D and Brodozer. He just lit it up in that final turn, man. What a run for Heavy D.
Heavy D's a driver. He'll surprise you, man. He got around that track beautifully.
After a surprising first round, here's how the racing brackets stack up. And Heavy D and Brodozer, the fastest time of round one.
Wow, that's amazing, man. I can't wait to see what he does in round two.
Coming up, Neil Elliott, Ryan Anderson hit the track for the first time when Monster Energy Racing continues. It's time for the second round of Monster Energy Racing. And as we take a look at the racing brackets, we do have an update. Gravedigger with mechanical issues, not able to make it out of the pits. Therefore, Kevin Crocker, El Toro Loco, had the fastest time of the round of all eliminated trucks, gets the nod to re-enter the competition. So Morgan Kane has won 2 racing competitions this year, not going to make it a third here tonight.
Man, that's a tough break. He's really going to take a fall in the points when it comes to chasing that overall event championship. Tough break for Morgan.
Our first look tonight at Neil Elliott and Max D. He's just been dominant in the Great Clip Skills Challenge, trying to win his first racing competition of the year. And Nick Pagliarulo gets a little rough around the turn. So Neil Elliott going to hit the gas, and he is going to try to navigate Max D across the finish line. But look at Kraken, not making it easy, but again gets in his own way. And Neil Elliott will take the win and move on to the semifinals.
Yeah, looked like Nick just got a little bit ahead of himself in those turns, which just cost the truck to wash out.
A tire issue for Max D, so they're going to have to take a look at that and repair it before the semifinal round. So a lot of mechanical issues now plaguing our drivers, and it's this figure 8 track that seems to be unforgivable. Now Kevin Crocker gets a shot at redemption against Matt Pagliarulo.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that Kevin's background in off-road racing might help him on this driver's track. There's so many turns right and left in the same lap. But you know what, right now, it looks like Matt and Jester's got a slight edge.
And Matt's got the track down so far. You can see it in the turn. Here he goes again. There's the drift. He continues to hit the throttle. Gets wide, though, and Kevin Crocker got the inside lane, and Matt Pagliarulo cannot get out of the race lane. So Matt Pagliarulo not going to advance. Austin Tweedy not happy about that. He had the race won, then just ends up hitting that obstacle, the pod. And that looks like that is going to be the end of the racing bracket for Jester. Great effort, but there is Kevin Crocker taking advantage of the spot he was given, and now Candice Jolly draws Ryan Anderson.
Wow, this is going to be a good matchup. Candice already has been on the track, so that might give her a slight edge, but then again, you got to look at who she's facing. Ryan Anderson, Son-uva Digger, he could do this in his sleep sometimes, I think.
2 straight racing competition wins for Ryan Anderson and Son-uva Digger. And he is just a guy you don't want to meet in the racing bracket as he continues to put every single lap to the test and puts it together. Son-uva Digger, a big, easy win. He's going to move on to the semifinals now of Monster Energy Monster Jam Racing.
Man, he made that look so seamless. He drifted around all the turns like it was nothing. Man, that was a great lap.
Corey Rummel now back at it against Heavy D. Heavy D, the fastest time of round 1. We'll see if he can do it again against Corey Rummel.
The main thing you have to do is not overdrive that first jump in order to set you up for a good turn. That's really what's going to spell disaster or success when it comes to making your way around this tough track.
And Corey Rummel making his way in an incredible time here. 19.629 for Megalodon. Corey Rummel is lighting it up. The stage now set for the semifinals. Talk about our two matchups.
Man, looks like Max D versus El Toro Loco. Neil Elliott, I think he's got a slight edge in this race, but you never know. That's why we run the races, to see what happens. He's got a great hole shot, though, right off the bat.
Right off the starting line, Kevin Crocker a little slow even around the first turn. Neil Elliott not letting off the gas, makes the tight turn, and he's going to continue to let Max D fly, looking for his first racing win of 2020, and he is in the zone right now. And you get that front tire up off the ground, doesn't stop him at all, continuing that momentum. And Neil Elliott and Max D advancing to the final round.
Man, I love to see these 12,000-pound Monster Jam trucks flat track around a turn like that. Man, that was beautiful.
Corey Rummel, Ryan Anderson, the winner will meet Neil Elliott, and they are even off the line across the jammer. That's got to be tough when you get a jammer right off the start.
Yeah, and that's really what spells disaster or success when it comes to making your way around this tough track. Corey Rummel's got Megalodon moving, though, man. He might be in the hunt here. Let's see this finish line.
Corey Rummel is driving obsessed right now, and he is going to get the upset of the night. And Ryan Anderson going to let him have it there at the end. So incredible run for Corey Rummel as we take a look. The original super glue glued to the action replay. Cross-threading across the finish line. Doesn't matter how you get there. The time is there. He's moving to the finals.
That was awesome. You know you're committed when you fly across the finish line crooked like that. Megalodon's in the finals, man. What a treat.
Our two finalists could clearly teach a master class. Neil Elliott, Corey Rummel going head-to-head. It's just the first racing finals appearance for either driver this season. Corey Rummel did qualify in St. Louis. Mechanical issues kept him out of the race. So who do you have here in the finals?
Man, you know, Corey Rummel looks really strong, but you never can count out Max D, Neil Elliott. He's just a consummate professional, a real veteran of this sport.
Here we go. The light is green off the line, even across the jammer. We get into our first turn. Watch Neil Elliott here. He goes a little wider than usual, keeps the momentum. Corey Rummel having all kinds of problems.
Oh, yeah. Corey's out of shape. He's going to hand the win to Neil Elliott and Max D as long as he can cross the finish line. Oh, yeah, he's over there, man. That's awesome, man. Tough break for Corey. I was really looking to see if he had that same energy that he did in the semifinals.
Corey Rummel had the track figured out. I think Neil Elliott maybe got into his head. Maybe he looked off at Neil to see where he was, but that is it. For the first time in 2020, Neil Elliott is going to win a racing competition. Great start to the night for the Max D driver.
Absolutely, and it's really cool to see that he's still in the winner's circle. He's battling with Ryan Anderson since they've come off such hot weekends the last few weeks out, man. That's really cool to see him in the winner's circle.
So Neil Elliott with his first racing win of the season gets the first 14 points of the night. We know how dominant he is in the skills challenge. The last time we were here at Angel Stadium was Stadium Championship Series Green. He took the overall event championship. But right now, our racing winner is standing by with Casey Gagliardi.
So what was going through your mind in the final race?
Man, you know, I went out there first round and I come over the finish line jump and I heard the tire blow, so I just immediately went outside and just trying to figure out what's going on because 4 pretty much brand new tires, only got a couple weeks on them, but sitting back there wondering who I'm going to get when I come out here and race, and you just don't know until you get out here, and had no idea it'd be my buddy Corey Rummel, but he's an awesome driver, does an awesome job, but I got his number this year.
Yes, he sure does. And coming up next, he's going to take that momentum in the competition that he's dominated all season. The Great Clip Skills Challenge is next from Anaheim. Welcome back to Angel Stadium. And all of us at Monster Jam could not be more proud to be a partner with an extremely worthy cause, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. In an effort to combat childhood cancer, we invite you to join the movement. Text to donate right now. Text Monster Jam to 785-833 to donate and to save lives. It's time to see how things went down in the Great Clip Skills Challenge earlier today. Each driver had the option to attempt 2 two-wheel skill maneuvers or a donut, as again 14 points were on the line for the event winner towards the overall event championship. Here's a quick look back at our top 6 competitors in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. So Bounty Hunter gets a slap wheelie. This is my favorite move in this competition, and Jimmy Cretan's so skilled at it, but only good enough for a 6th place finish.
That's one of my favorite moves, the slap wheelie. You can always count on that to get you a good score. Whoa, look at Morgan Kane go riding that bicycle on 2 wheels.
A wild bicycle, Parker Hatcher approving. Here is the master of the bicycle, Ryan Anderson. Got a great one, gets it up on the sidewalls. spins it around, makes the save, but still only 4th place. And then Corey Rummel gets the popper into the nose wheelie.
Yeah, you kind of have to gauge the crowd to see, whoa, and man, Corey went for a wild ride there, back on all 4 wheels, but he's got some damage there. As you can see, probably the 4-link bars in the back are broken.
Save of the night so far, Heavy D getting up on the 2 wheels with another great bicycle, then gets some air off the pod into a nose wheelie. What a combo.
Nice.
You can't plan that out, but you can nail it. Heavy D did that in Brodozer.
That was beautiful. I love it when the truck can just give you a nose wheelie like that.
But Neil Elliott just so masterful at this competition. He's won every competition so far this year he's competed in. The only one he didn't win was in St. Louis when he wasn't competing, and he just gets this nose wheelie moonwalk back up onto the pod.
He's so consistent at it, and he's so calm, cool, and collected behind the wheel, balancing this Max D truck on the front 2 tires. What a great move.
Neil Elliott dominating the competition, his 5th win in the last 6 events. And we talked about that. He had mechanical issues in St. Louis, so nothing short of dominant. But let's take a look right now where the rest of the field landed in the standings.
Great win for Neil, of course, but Corey Rummel, I've got my eye on him. He finished 2nd in racing and now 3rd here in this competition. Great momentum to start Freestyle out.
After his big win, Casey caught up with our winner, Neil Elliott.
There's not been one event that you haven't left the venue after Freestyle with your truck literally in pieces. So is the key to success out here, especially in Monster Jam Freestyle, just having a good time?
The key to success is outside right now, working on that Max D truck. This skills competition coming out here and doing these nose wheelies and the moonwalks is really hard on parts. The transmission starves for oil, so the transmission actually broke 1st gear. I could go out there and freestyle it, but I'm afraid it's going to break. So these guys are out there putting a brand new, fresh transmission in there. But we're going to make it back. I can just about guarantee you that. We're going to come out here and, like I said, just have fun and entertain Monster Jam fans.
If there's any team that can do it, it is the Max D team. Folks, let's give it up for your Skills Challenge winner, Neil Elliott, Max D.
And to go off of what Casey said, it seems like any time, an engine blows or a transmission needs to be fixed, it's always the Max D team that gets it done in record time. So Neil has the lead, 3 points going into BKT Freestyle. He can't sit back and watch as Corey Rummel, Heavy D, Ryan Anderson are all within striking distance.
Yes, those top 4 are going to fight to the finish to claim that overall event championship.
It's time for BKT Freestyle. And let's take a look at how the event is scored. Each of our drivers will attempt a freestyle run filled with big air and non-stop action, and of course flow like this expert run by Black Pearl. You add momentum into that, which is very important, such as this perfect slap wheelie by 2-time World Finals champion Jimmy Cretin in Bounty Hunter. And then those all-important wow moments, that's what the fans are looking for, like this dynamic save from Lucas Oil Crusader. When you add it all up, it's all drivers pushing their Monster Jam truck to its limits. Now, each driver is awarded a score by you, the audience, so fans in attendance at our Monster Jam events provide each driver a score immediately following their run. Fans are going to judge our drivers based on the use of all obstacles on the track, also creativity and technical moves like this incredible bicycle into a stoppie by Ryan Anderson and Son-uva Digger, combinations like Bakugan Dragonoid with this backflip into a moonwalk, and the ever-important wow factor all add up to a great score. However, to qualify for that score, drivers must complete the first 30 seconds of the run. Bari, it's a new rule, and it has changed the game of Monster Jam Freestyle.
Yeah, it's so crucial that you get in that first 30 seconds to give the fans a fair shot at judging each one of those criteria that you just mentioned.
And we'll start off with Candace Jolly, Monster Mutt Dalmatian. Now, last time we were here in Anaheim with Stadium Championship Series Green, the freestyle winner was Monster Mutt Dalmatian. However, it was Cynthia Gauthier behind the wheel. So now you have an established driver like Candace Jolly who's going to start us off right off the ramp over the cars with some nice air, slaps it down a little bit. But how tough is it to have to fill in for a world champion like Cynthia Gauthier no matter what Candace Jolly's resume is?
I definitely think it ups your game. You really have to be on your game when it comes to freestyle, especially the fans know that Cynthia won the last time out here in that same truck. So Candace has to match that energy, and she's got the tough task of coming out first here, wowing all the fans, doing a good job setting the bar high for the rest of the freestyle competition.
Now, she has a lot of international experience. She's been out of the country with you on some of these big events. How does that carry over into coming back into the States now in 2020?
It's just like riding a bike, Scott. I mean, whether we're overseas or here in the good old US of A, we're going to rock the house when it comes to freestyle no matter what. This is a universal brand when it comes to Monster Jam. People love seeing these big Monster Jam trucks fly through the air. They love hearing the horsepower that the engines produce. And Candice Jolly's doing a great job. She's on a good run. She's past her 30 seconds, which you need to get a score. So let's see what she concludes her run with. Something, maybe a wow factor would be great.
You like coming out first in freestyle to set the tone. When it comes to, what I look for from a freestyle driver to lead off the competition, she has the total package. She's not afraid to land something big. She's not afraid to hit everything in front of her, and she's got the backing of the fans in that Monster Mutt truck. So it's everything you want to see from a superstar to kick off this competition and show the fans what it's about. And there's some big air for Candice Jolly.
Yes, I was waiting for her to just stand on the gas, hit that throttle, and never lift until she's in the air. That was a great jump.
She's got a lot of space in front of her here in the dirt, starting to run up a little bit. There's a donut, the Monster Jam donut, another fan favorite in freestyle. She knew the seconds were ticking away on the clock, had a little bit of room in front of her, and then hit the Monster Jam donut. So she is able to compete a run, get a decent score from the fans. She's been fairly consistent all night. However, the same cannot be said for a few other drivers, and Casey's standing by with the UNOH pit report.
I just got back from the pits, and I wanted to give you an update as to what's going on back there. There is a lot happening. Now, when it comes to the Brodozer Monster Jam truck, there's several things that are an issue on that truck right now, but the biggest deal is that both radiators are completely shot. Especially when it comes to a diesel-powered truck, those radiators are fabricated by hand, and it's about a 3-hour job to get it fixed, and it's just not something that's doable during this event timeline, so you're not going to see Brodozer for the freestyle competition. The same goes for the Toro Loco Monster Jam truck. He blew a motor in the Skills Challenge competition, so more than likely they're not going to be able to get it back for freestyle. Now, some things to look forward to is that the Max D Monster Jam truck, you heard Neil Elliott talking about it in his interview, they're changing out that transmission, and they have quite the team back there. So we're hoping to see Max D back in the freestyle competition. And last but not least, the Megalodon Monster Jam truck. They are working on the rear shocks and the 4-link bar. That's about a 15-minute fix each, but once again, a lot of hands on deck. We're hoping to see that back for the freestyle competition as well.
A lot to digest. It's going to change the landscape for sure. May have given Gravedigger, Bounty Hunter, Jester, and Kraken all something to cheer about as 3 of the top 4 trucks are getting repairs. So do not go anywhere as the event just got really interesting. We have more action coming your way from Angel Stadium. BKT Freestyle continues right here next. Right now, let's get on the track with Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken getting us started with some big air off the step up.
Man, listen to the crowd. That's how you want to start your freestyle. Once you've got their attention, then you can go on, get a nice consistent run going. He had that wow factor right off the bat. Hold on there, Nick.
Getting a little wild, but he saves it. So Nick Pagliarulo coming out now in Anaheim, a star in the making is this kid, former crew chief for his dad, and there's the technical response.
Yes.
For Kraken, just gets a stoppie into the nose wheelie, moonwalks it back a little bit, and now hitting the pod, cross-threading it down. What is going on here with Nick Pagliarulo?
Man, he's got an action-packed run right off the bat here. Let's keep it rolling, Nick. He's doing a great job. He's got such a promising future in Monster Jam. He's such a good driver already, and he's still really new in the seat, man. It's great to watch him go.
He helped build this truck from the ground up with his dad, Matt Pagliarulo. They have started something special in Deltona, Florida with Tomfoolery Motorsports. Now Jester and Kraken, a rumored 3rd truck coming possibly later this year or next. We're going to find out, but whatever he's drinking down in Deltona seems to be working for him because he is putting it together right now.
Yeah, and you can see the front hood of that Kraken truck is coming off, and the fans love to see carnage. So if that comes off, I'm sure you're going to hear this Anaheim crowd come unglued, man. He's on a great run.
He has got a shot here to take the lead. The score to beat, 6.975, very beatable. He hits the step up again. Not as much air on it from the first time, but you get that first jump, and what do you do from there? You can't top it.
No, you just got to keep going bigger and bigger. And there you see that front clip fly off. And I think to add insult to injury, he rolled over it. So, man, Nick is just having a good time tonight here in California. He's a long way from home, like you said, Deltona, Florida. So he's here to represent, make some fans out here on the West Coast.
And here's the thing with Nick is any damage he does to the truck, he's going to be back in the pits later on tonight repairing it. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's got to do after the event, and he does not care right now. He's in the zone.
No, it goes back to that old adage, you can drive it as hard as you want to work on it. So he's definitely got some work cut out for him, but what a great freestyle, man. Fans are definitely going to remember this.
And I'm going to go out on a limb, Barry, say that was the best freestyle run I've ever seen from Nick Pagliarulo, and the fans agree. There's your brand new leader here in Monster Jam Freestyle. Nick Pagliarulo, the run of the night so far. And there's Corey Rummel, has to be proud of his team. They're able to make repairs to his shocks and 4-link just in time. And we'll see if he can keep the pressure. He is currently sitting just 3 points behind Neil Elliott for the overall event championship. And there's a big jump to get Megalodon started. So no rest for the wicked here for Corey Rummel.
Not at all. You know Corey's going to bring it. And, you know, just the fact that he has to follow Kraken's energy, which was an amazing run, Corey is just going to fuel his fire to go even bigger. See, he's going big right off the bat. I want to point out a technical thing, though. You see his right rear tire is really bent from that two-wheel skills competition, but he doesn't care. He's throwing caution to the
over
wind.
And can he save it up here? Just gets the nose up, and Mr. Extreme Air does not get the extreme save. You hate to see that happen after the work his team did to get him back. Clearly something going wrong for Corey. Since they didn't make the 30 seconds, Megalodon is disqualified here in freestyle. A disappointing end to the night for Corey Rummel, and it didn't get easier for two-time World Finals champion Jimmy Cretin in Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, it's always tough when you can't get that rhythm going in freestyle. It looks like his front end, actually something let go in the front, which, you know, will hinder you throughout your freestyle run. Tough break there.
And two-time World Finals, meaning racing and freestyle. As we move on to Kristen Hope here in Wolf's Head, she tried to put together a good run, get some jumps. I've seen some growing improvements from her. And Dawn Cretin hit that step-up ramp, gets it back down the other side, and there's some more big air for Scarlet Bandit.
It's great to see the women of Monster Jam represented, especially with these two out here in Anaheim. It's just very empowering, and I love to see it.
And you got to get the fans on your side, so talk about the things that maybe you need to do to improve on your score, or something that you do that will give the fans a little less interest in rising that BKT tire all the way up to the top.
You just really have to have that wow factor. You got to announce your presence right off the bat. You have to be able to continue that through the entire freestyle run. Wow, great jump there from Matt Pagliarulo, Jester.
They got to wonder what Matt is thinking right now in Jester, and we talk about his career and where Nick started as a crew chief for his dad, you know, growing up in this business. And now Matt has a chance to take the lead. It is a beatable score, but what, as a father, would that say if you have to beat your son to take the lead? I mean, and there's a great jump off the other side of the step up, so he has to take the lead away from his kid. Imagine going back to the pit area and saying, hey, nice job, but I did better, kid.
Yeah, it's just all about that life lesson, you know. It carries through to Monster Jam, especially, whoa, hang on to it, especially when you're a father-son team, you know. I'm sure they go back and forth. That camaraderie between those two is probably really special.
Absolutely special. Matt roots on his boy. Matt loves to win, no doubt about that. You know, I've spent a lot of time with the Pagliarulos. We know how big of a family they are in that atmosphere at Tomfoolery Motorsports. But at the end of the day, it's every competitor for his or herself. And whether you have to beat your son, your dad, your sister, your brother, your mother, it doesn't matter. You want to win. And there's a great wheelie from Matt Pagliarulo.
Wow, and he comboed it up into a nice little sky wheelie there. But I want to point out something. He's actually matching his son Nick's energy, because if you recall, his front clip came off the Kraken truck too. Well, the Jester truck just lost the front clip off the Jestalade, as Matt likes to call it. But man, he's on a wild ride.
Oh, you got to save this. Come on, Matt.
Ugh.
Just missed that front left tire, so Matt Pagliarulo will not take the lead away from his son. Nick Pagliarulo remains your current freestyle leader, and here is the veteran Roy Pridgeon in Extermigator. This truck, this new body on Extermigator debuted in 2020. We see Star Creations designing, you know, Jester, Kraken, and now this Amelie Motor Oil Extermigator, so well done to that team. This truck is absolutely beautiful from the chassis all the way up to the body.
Yes, indeed. I mean, there's no mistaking that is a representation of an alligator. So it's really cool that these guys are from Florida. They're representing for all the Florida Gators, I'm sure, that are out there. So really cool design on this truck.
And the thing is now, can Roy Pridgeon leave the truck on the ground, leave the body on the ground, and sort of de-beautify the Extermigator as he's riding out for Raising Cane Monster Trucks. There's a great jump for Roy Pridgeon, lands it nicely. We've seen Roy develop his reputation as a driver, primarily an Ice Cream Man, more recently in recent history for Monster Jam, and the fans loved that truck, and now he gets to drive something even prettier than the Ice Cream Man truck, so now he's got Extermigator. So Roy, very popular among the fans and loves meeting them. The pit party, we've talked about that, how much it's great to have the interaction with the fans for that 4 hours you get to meet him. Roy's a guy that fans flock to because he's one of the nicest guys in the business. That's not going to get him a win here, but it's going to get him a win here with us in the booth.
Absolutely, and the fact that Roy, you touched on it, he's so personable. He's probably one of the funniest guys you'll come across in Monster Jam. Anytime you're in need for a laugh, Roy is going to give it to you. He's giving it to the fans here on the track, though, right now with the Extermigator. He's doing a great job keeping up his momentum, but he's got a lot more in store here.
And there's a great jump for Roy Pridgeon, cross-threading it across the center pod over the step-up ramp, and now he's going to find some room here on the far side of the track. Great look at Bounty Hunter and the rest of the trucks. Gravedigger, Son-uva Digger watching Roy Pridgeon. Misses the backflip ramp, hits what's next to it, gets a slap wheelie on the other side.
Yeah, he could have carried that, but he just ran out of room, so he works into a nice donut. It's good to see donuts incorporated in freestyle.
And Roy Pridgeon, 6.519, fourth place for the driver of Extermigator. Right now, the Pagliarulos, as we near the end of freestyle, are 1 and 2, but some heavy hitters are on the horizon that could change that quickly as we take a look at the BKT Freestyle Top 5.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting finish. These points are tight. The fans are in for a treat.
It's far from over. Diesel Dave tries his luck at freestyle. Morgan Kane will look to apply some pressure on Ryan Anderson and Neil Elliott. Freestyle continues. For nearly 30 years, Monster Jam trucks have been pushed to their limits. Drivers demonstrating awe-inspiring big air jumps to astonishing technical moves. That's why it's important to have partners who help keep our trucks performing at their absolute best. Lucas Oil has made that possible. From transmission and hydraulic fluids to engine oil, Lucas Oil products are the lifeblood of Monster Jam. Welcome back here at Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California, as we continue with freestyle. And Morgan Kane climbing into Gravedigger to wait his turn. But right now, the spotlight is on Diesel Dave in Brocamino, and he's gearing up for a big jump to kick off his freestyle run. And the spotlight now on Brocamino, brand new in 2020. And for so long, for a year and a half, he had to play cheerleader for Heavy D in Brodozer. Got a couple opportunities, but now this is his chance, his truck, and another big jump end over end down the other side of the step-up ramp. A great start for Diesel Dave.
Yes, he's taking the right approach, and that's announcing your presence. Talk about having a good time in freestyle, man. I can't think of another person that has so much fun driving these Monster Jam trucks. He's a great guy to be around on and off the track. He looks for insight and advice from all the veterans, and he uses it. He applies it to his freestyle runs. He's doing a great job so far.
And we talked earlier about Roy Pridgeon and being personable. Let's talk about Diesel Dave for a minute. Diesel Dave literally shuts down the stadiums. Another great jump for him. Gets the back tires clipped, doesn't stop him at all, lands it. So great jump again for Diesel Dave, but he literally will shut down a stadium meeting his fans. I mean, he will have the longest autograph line at the end of the night, and he stays until every fan has a picture or an autograph, and you gotta love seeing that from one of the biggest stars, not just in Monster Jam, but on Discovery, period.
Absolutely. I mean, this guy just loves to have a good time with his fans, with the Monster Jam trucks in general. So, I mean, Diesel Dave, and he's getting ready.
We got a backflip, Bari, for Diesel Dave, and he lands it. Incredible run so far for Brocamino.
Yeah, I think his run's going to get cut short there. He broke the tie bar, the tie rod on the back end of the truck, over-rotating, but look at his score. He just blasted into first place.
And that's a career high for Diesel Dave. Now he has a chance to win his first career freestyle in Anaheim, but Morgan Kane could have a lot to do with that. And Morgan Kane on a mission. He has had a frustrating night after having so much success earlier in this series at the top of the power rankings, at the top of the series championship leaderboard. So Morgan Kane now with something to prove in Anaheim.
Yeah, and I think Gravedigger is going to get put through the paces probably more than ever tonight. Morgan's going to take out that frustration, and he's got a sold-out crowd to do it in front of right here in Anaheim. Gravedigger is along for the ride. He's off and going for freestyle. He's going to be past his first 30 seconds, so I'm looking for big things from Morgan Kane.
One freestyle win on the season for Morgan Kane earlier at the Dome at America's Center in St. Louis on Saturday. So Morgan Kane can win freestyle. Of course, he's a world champion in racing, took it all back in 2016. He's a guy I think that in the future could win a freestyle World Finals championship, and that list of drivers that have won both racing and freestyle is very short. It's 7. I think Morgan Kane can make a claim to adding his name to that list and making it 8.
For sure. Morgan is one of those guys that's really good at no matter what he does. And so putting this Monster Jam truck called Gravedigger through the paces during freestyle is just one more of those things that he's good at. He can give you carnage. He can give you finesse and technique. As you see, he's flat-footed drifting around that turn.
I've talked with Morgan about carrying on the Anderson legacy as a Gravedigger driver, not having the Anderson last name as he lines up here for a jump over the cars, lands it. So you got guys like Randy Brown, Brandon Vinson, Morgan Kane that drive Gravedigger without the Anderson last name attached to him. He doesn't feel that pressure because he grew up as a part of the family in Currituck, North Carolina, best friends with Ryan Anderson, and he's now lining up for the Monster Energy backflip. Here goes Morgan Kane, gets in nice air, lands it on the side of the tires, successful backflip, so not worried about not carrying on that Anderson legacy.
Not at all, and the Andersons have full confidence that Morgan can bring it night in and night out. What a great score. He's blasting to second place.
And of course, wanted to mention Charlie Pauken and Tyler Menega, 2 other incredible Gravedigger drivers carrying on that Anderson legacy. Morgan Kane, Gravedigger trailing Max D by 13 points, Ryan Anderson by 10, but with that run, puts himself in second place and now a factor for Elliott and Anderson. Neal still getting repairs to his transmission, and mechanical issues have been the story plaguing our drivers tonight. So a long shot Morgan could pull off the upset. Speaking of great runs, here's this week's Monster Energy action of the week, and it is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger in Houston. Incredible jump, skying it, and then getting the save.
Wow, that's awesome. And he did all that with a flat tire approaching the step-up jump. Man, that's just putting caution to the wind and just going for it, which is what you got to do inside a Gravedigger.
Just makes it look beautiful, doesn't he? On 3 wheels, 3 tires, gets that incredible bicycle save, nose dives it off the step-up ramp, and just unbelievable. That is what that Anderson legacy is up to, and that's why it's the Monster Energy action of the week. It comes down to 2 in Anaheim with Brocamino and Gravedigger setting the scores to beat. How will Ryan Anderson and Neal Elliott respond? We'll find out next as Freestyle concludes. Neal Elliott's team has his transmission back up and running, so clearly this is his event to lose. But Son-uva Digger trails Max D by only 5 points. Now Elliott has to put up a top 4 run here in freestyle, which surprisingly has been something he's been unable to do for the entire series, finishing 5 or lower in every freestyle event. So can Neal Elliott put one together here and take the championship?
Well, Neal is always going to put it together. It's just a matter of if the fans give him a high enough score. He hasn't really had that really huge carnage wreck that really brings the fans to their feet. This Max D truck handles so good that it almost takes the, oh no, and as soon as I said that, he had a really tough re-entry there to that landing, but he's still rolling. You know, Neal Elliott is a tough guy, and he took that like a champ.
Now, he's been frustrated throughout the early part of the season with the fans scoring. You know, he's been dominant in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. He's almost every week made it at least to the semifinals of racing, so he's putting together consistent. He's at the top of the point series standings, right in the thick of this series, but he cannot get a high freestyle score no matter what he does. So he's been very vocal about it and visibly frustrated when it comes to freestyle.
Yeah, I've talked to Neal about that, and he says that this Max D truck, it just handles so well. It sucks up everything that he throws at it, including one of the specific things that he mentioned was the rear end housings that are under this truck are wider. So it gives the truck a wider stance, which makes it handle better. So it's harder to get that out of shape freestyle, that wow factor moment that gives you those high scores.
And going back to the early mechanical issues with the transmission, and I touched on this earlier as well, anytime we have a big issue like a motor or a transmission, I always feel like it knocks everybody else out of the event, but it's always the Max D drivers that get back into it, whether it's Tom Meents or Neal Elliott. Their teams in Paxton, Illinois, some of the best technicians in the world. What makes it so special that Max D doesn't have to ever worry about a blown transmission or a blown motor?
Well, they're trained by the professor. You know, Max D, Tom Meents, has the best of the best on his team as Neal Elliott lines up for the Monster Energy backflip ramp.
Short,
man. Tough break.
So that is going to leave the door open now for Ryan Anderson in Son-uva Digger to put something special together, which is what he's been doing. So Neil Elliott had a chance to lock this one away, cannot get it, so he puts himself now in 5th place with that run. Not sure he's entirely happy there. As I mentioned, Ryan Anderson now needs a 1st place finish in freestyle to become tonight's overall event champion, and jumps like that will get him that win.
Yes, indeed, man. The plot thickens. That is very uncharacteristic of Neil Elliott to lay down a backflip like that. Normally you can count on him to really come through with one, but you know what? It's all good. Ryan Anderson is on the track now, and he's out there with a vengeance. I mean, he always announces his presence, but it was something about that first jump that really just grasped my attention.
Now he's got 2 freestyle wins on the year, coming off a big event championship a week ago in Glendale, Arizona, and now starting to feel the momentum. And
wow,
I don't know that there's a driver in Monster Jam that can get more air than Ryan Anderson. Maybe Todd the Duke, but that's arguable because Ryan Anderson is showing everybody what he's got, and he's not letting off at all. He just turned around, kept his foot on the throttle, and got momentum over the cars.
Yeah, he is rocking the house, man, and it's early on in this run. There's still a lot more action left, and really it just feels like he is out there on another level to me right now as far as look at the dirt flying and the momentum he's carrying. Man, he's off to a great start so far.
Ryan Anderson went back-to-back world championships in 2017 and 2018, end over end over the step-up ramp again down the race side of it. Won freestyle in 2018, racing in 2017, came home empty-handed a year ago, trying to make up for it here this year in 2020, and he is on an absolute tear. That Ragged Edge, Digger's Dungeon, North Carolina, born and bred, corn-fed driving like Ryan Anderson. Another big jump bar. He has got this in the bag if he keeps it up.
For sure. I mean, and this is really something special to watch. Ryan Anderson has had this in his DNA since he was born, to be able to drive like this. And it's just something as he comes up to the Monster Energy ramp. Oh.
And you had to know he was going to nail it.
Yes. And he's got a flat BKT tire to boot, but I'm sure he doesn't care.
Again, skying it with 3 wheels, and that is what's going to take to stop his run, is landing on the roof.
But listen to this crowd, Scott. They are on their feet cheering. That is the way you conclude a freestyle.
The original Super Glue, glued to the action replay, one of those insane jumps up over the step-up ramp. And again, this is where he kept the momentum going over the cars, lands sideways, and here is the backflip that would pop the tire that would not end his run. He still gets one more jump, ends up on the roof, and just incredible Ragged Edge run for Ryan Anderson.
That was amazing, man. What a run. I mean, that's a well-deserved win there for Ryan Anderson.
Ryan Anderson does it again, not only takes freestyle, but also the event championship. He forced the tie, gets the higher score in freestyle, takes the win. Casey is with the man of the hour.
Ryan, it doesn't get any closer than that. Literally a tie for overall event points, but you had the higher freestyle score, so you're taking home the trophy.
I honestly had no idea this was going to happen. Neil has been killing it. Max D, dude, Diesel Dave and the Brocamino, that was awesome, but we got it. Dave Stancil right here. You guys, these crew guys, are the real miracle makers. They're the ones that make these trucks do what they do. We're just in there crashing those things. Everything I do on this track is for you guys.
We say it all the time, anything can happen in Monster Jam. Neil Elliott seemed to have this one sewed up with wins in racing and skills, but Ryan Anderson proved once again you can never count him out. An incredible freestyle display led to him winning here tonight. It's been an action-packed night at Angel Stadium. For Barry Musauer, Casey Gagliardi, I'm Scott Jordan. Thank you for watching Monster Jam, and good night from Anaheim, California.